Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video, and today I'm doing a video on my thoughts on the new Time War Master sort of box set announcement thing. Like, I'm just freaking ecstatic right about now. Like, I'm fucking mental about this. Like, I just cannot believe this is a thing. Like, okay, well, first of all, I just need to, before I forget, give a thanks and or shout out to my friend Michael, because he sent me the link to this over Facebook. Oh my god, like, and then I listened to the trailer and holy shit, does it sound amazing. It's only like 1 minute and 42 seconds, so nearly 2 minutes, but holy shit. I think I'm getting so hyped for it, and yet it's not out until December, so quite some time away now, but I mean, it's like, what a time to be alive and or be a Doctor Who fan. I mean, you've got this Saturday, this recording, you've got the Michelle Gomez Master and John Sim returning and the 1966 Cybermen. Then you've got in one story and or in the next one, I'm assuming, and then you've got, you know, in November for Big Finish Audios, we've got that 8th Doctor Time War box set, which I've been has been on my radar and been on my wish list. Well, not wish list, but yeah, definitely on my list of Big Finish Audios that I'm interested in and or want to pick up. And yeah, it's definitely been on my radar. And then this just came out of nowhere, and it's like, holy shit, like, what even? What time to be a Doctor Who fan? Like, you know, I know it's not out until, as I say, December, so the back end of this year, but still, what the fuck? Like, this is mental. Derek Jacobi, if you don't know, is the Master who played the Master in 2007 in Utopia. He was literally in a few scenes and then regenerated in John Sim. Don't get me wrong, I really adore John Sim's Master, but I also really liked what Derek Jacobi even brought to the role. And I mean, well, technically he's in it more than, say, just a few scenes, but as the Master, technically he's only in there as a few scenes, and then sort of gets shot, regenerates, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen the episode for some fucked up reason, and that. But so technically, although he's in the episode a bit more than a few scenes, he's sort of, in the context of the episode, he's playing a different character. He's playing this character called Professor Yana, sorry, even, and that, and yeah, it's just, Derek Jacobi's a really renowned, fairly big, high-profiled British actor. I mean, I don't know his portfolio personally, but I mean, one thing that I was going to do a topics video-y series video, well, not series of videos, but a topics video on was going to be my top 5 things they should have done in the War Doctor box sets, and one of which would have had to have the Master in the Time War, and now it looks like Big Finish have ironically read my mind somehow, and yeah, done that. So, but I'm very curious as to see if it'll tie in with the last Master previously, because this definitively canonizes. Okay, so in the Time War, the Doctor was played by John Hurt and was that character of the War Doctor, of that character, because I don't. Well, in the context of the show, he doesn't refer to himself as the Doctor, so just the other, I guess, maybe. Or just, yeah, John Hurt Doctor. Or just that version of the Doctor, even. Or the War Doctor, yeah. The War character. It's very difficult to refer to him as something that isn't the Doctor, but, so it's, yeah, official that he's that version of the Doctor in the War, but then the Master, it's definitive now that the Master in the Time War was Derek Jacobi, because it was very weird, because it was difficult to tell if there was a different version of the Master in the Utopia, when we did get sort of shots of an Emperor Dalek, and the fact that the Master, essentially, to my knowledge, from what I remember of that story, had to become human to escape the Time War. So I'm very curious as to find out where this will be set in chronological order, in the canonical sense. Man, I love that word, canonical. Anyway, yeah, in the canonical sense, like, whereabouts this will be set. Like, will it be set it'll obviously have to be set, but before Utopia. But will it be sort of? Will we see him turn into Professor Yana, like, and use the pocket watch, the fob watch, to turn into Professor Yana at the end of this series thing? Will we see it connect to the 1996 TV movie? Because that's very confusing, because the person who plays the Master in that one, it has totally escaped me. But I always dress for the occasion Master, who's fucking awful as the Master, but he, last time I checked, was in the Eye of Harmony in the TARDIS, so how he escaped and went into the Time War, I have no fucking idea. And that whether or not Big Finish will try and connect those dots together is another thing. I mean, again, I'm very curious as to see if we'll see him if this will sort of slot into place with the next story in the chronological order, which would be logically Utopia and that. But yeah, I mean, he sounds sadistic, he sounds fucking amazing in this trailer. His laugh is so fucked up. It's really good. Daleks are in it, so I'm assuming maybe one of the episodes might be written by Nicholas Briggs, and that, which would be interesting. And that to see. It's just, oh my god, Derek Jacobi. And also, he played the Master in the 2003 episode Scream the Schalke by Paul Cornell as well, so he's used to doing audio stuff as well, and that. And I mean, he is an older actor now, so he's probably, like, one of the actor people who are probably better at doing sort of radio plays and that, because with acting, I think it is as much about your body language, it's about your inflection and your tone of voice and how you, sort of work the room in terms of how you are physically there, but also mentally and spiritually, for lack of a better term, there, and projecting your voice and who you're projecting it to and why you're doing what you're doing and that. But obviously with radio plays, that cuts a lot of the work out and that, so with you not obviously being physically there, and that, and he's got a very distinct voice, and he's very, what's eerie is that he's very calm in his insanity. Like, he could just switch, like he could just, like, you're just waiting for him to just get pushed to his limit and then just snap and just be like, what the fuck are you doing, man? And that, and like, the idea of him just being like, having to, for some reason in the context of a story, like, snap someone's neck or shoot someone, and then just be like, oh well, I had to do it, you see, to get my equipment from my TARDIS, or something, just, like, he's so in control of his actions, but what his actions are obviously fucking sadistic ones, and his laugh, is fucking sadistically, horrifically Joker-esque, which is a compliment. I like the fact that the Daleks are in it. I mean, I like the Daleks, and I mean, it's been a series we haven't had with the Daleks, so it'll be interesting to see a Dalek story from Big Finish and that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not like, salivatingly like, oh my god, I need a Dalek story or anything, but I do like the Daleks, but I'd rather a break and see some other stuff and that. For example, The Master. It almost feels like the first War Doctor box set, almost like, but from the Master's version and that. And as I say, it'll be interesting to see if he's just pretending to be someone else, or if he has already used the fob watch and so he is Professor Yana, or what. I mean, he does say in the trailer, I am the Master, and that. But then there's other bits where there's this person being like, but Professor Keller needs our help, or he said this and that bit where he's like, oh, people die all the time. There's no need to be upset. It's like spitting in the wind. People always die. And it's like, whoa, what? Like, this is some dark shit right here. And the cover as well, I love the cover, like that Dalek, that exploding Dalek and that. Exploding Dalek, and that, and then the image of his Master, but very much like almost in a Paul McGann-esque 1966, sort of TV movie, what is it, sort of Victorian-esque sort of get-up. I mean, very reminiscent of kind of, not too dissimilar to what he wore in Utopia, but more sort of, yeah, Victorian, Edwardian-y and that. So, and I'm curious as to see, like, yeah, if there's any sort of stuff where he's mentioning the Doctor and or wanting to try and find the Doctor, or if there's any reference to the Doctor trying to find him or something, you know, as it would be interesting. Like, my only criticism what is to this box set is the fact that, or series of audios or whatever, it'll more than likely be a box set, I'm assuming, but what's really getting on my nerves is the idea that Big Finish have deprived me and everyone else of John Hurt and Derek Jacobi in an audio, because that would have been fucking phenomenal to, you know, British acting legends, really, and the dialogue and the stakes, and yeah, like, when you've got really high profile and really good actors, I think as a writer you write better, or you push yourself to write better, because you've got such high profile people acting and doing and saying your lines and or doing your, yeah, actiony, movementy stuff in the terms of the TV show and or film stuff. But yeah, very excited, if you couldn't tell, for this box set and all release from Big Finish. So cannot wait. Thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.